Hi, I'm Dana, and having recently done a video of my least favourite parts of being autistic, it only feels right that I then do my favourite parts, which I sound so much more depressed about than when I was doing my least favourite parts. But it is one of those things where, like, I quite enjoy complaining, to be honest with you, and I don't like having to say nice things about myself. And obviously, as always, this video is very much based on me and my experiences. So this is essentially telling you what my favourite parts of my personality are, and it does make me a wee bit uncomfortable, to be honest with you. But we're trying to be more positive, and I try very hard to have like the balance of like, being autistic isn't a negative. I don't think it's a positive either. I think it's just a part of who I am. So if I'm gonna do like a real negative, like my least favourite things about it does just feel like I have to back it up and do some favourites too. So that's what I'm doing today, and I'm just gonna get straight into it, because my absolute number one favourite thing about being autistic is the way that I love the things that I love. Like, I essentially have like my special interest shrine behind me now. The way that I feel about my little movies and my little TV shows and the little characters that I like and the musicians I like, the joy that I can get from them, the love that I have for them, the passion and just the pure, I adore it all. And it's one of those things where, like, especially when I was younger and I would be around a lot of people that weren't autistic and didn't know anything about autism, and I didn't know that I was autistic, and I'd talk about the things that I enjoyed, and I just couldn't fathom not having them. Like, the concept of not having these things that like in my brain all the time and that I adore and that I can hyper focus on and fixate on, and that I've like most of my special interests arrived and formed in my life at a very young age, at the very least in my teenage years as like the latest. So it's something that I have and I don't understand how like TV shows and media and movies are there for everybody, and I just have no concept of how people are aware that they're there and don't excessively care about them, you know? And like, it's fine, you don't have to, everybody's different. I really like that everybody is different, but I'm also very aware that my like absolute adoration for like creative things and media and so on, it very much stems from the fact that it's a special interest, and it comes from the fact that I'm autistic. And that is by far my favourite thing. I love that about myself. That's one of the few things that I'm like, oh, other people don't do that, and I'm completely fine with it because I really like that I do. And I think it's also just the thing of like, when I've had neurotypical friends, they've messaged me when they're not feeling good, they've wanted company, they want people to like be there for them, and like, valid, cool, I'm happy to do that. I also think that's a very, very healthy way to be, and I think that I could definitely benefit from being like that more. But I also really enjoy that if I'm sad, if I'm having a bad day, if I'm really down, if I need some sort of comfort, I don't need to reach out to people. I don't need anybody to do anything for me. I just need to watch my shows. I just need to watch my movies. Give me 4 hours. I'll sort myself out and be alright again, you know? My next little favourite's one that took me a really long time to really realise what people meant. Because whenever I've like tried to be helpful, I've helped someone out, I've had a little job, I've been doing a thing, people are always like, wow, you really think outside the box for that, you really thought outside the box, no one else would have thought of that, you have such like a unique way of thinking. And I was always like, I just did the first thing that came to mind. Like, I didn't really think about this, I definitely didn't think outside the box. Literally, I saw what the thing I needed to fix or sort or like do was, and my brain was like, here's how to do it. I just did the first thing I thought of, you know? On the odd occasion, maybe it's the second thing I thought of, because I thought of the first thing and then thought of an issue and realised it wouldn't work and needed a new option. But like, most of the time, it's just the first thing I thought of is the thing that other people see as like outside the box, and it would be like the fifth thing that they think of after thinking of things that don't work as well, you know? Like, I don't want to be like, I'm so unique, I'm so creative, but I've been repeatedly told that the very first thought that I have is the one that other people see as the like outside the box thinking. And I'm just very aware that when I've been doing things and when I've had like my little jobs and my little tasks and like a little mission to do, the way that I do it is very, very rarely the way that other people would choose to do it. And I've had a lot of times that I've been told off and been told like, no, you have to do it in the way that we've decided. But the reality is that doing it my way is often a lot more efficient, even if it's only more efficient for me. Like, it might not be the easiest way for everyone, but I will automatically just find the most efficient, easy way for me to do the thing. And I've consistently been told that it's really outside the box. And when I was going to like creative things, like I used to go to like summer schools for like drama and music and musical theatre and all that kind of thing, people were consistently like, wow, you have such creative thinking, you have such a creative mind, like wow. And I was just like, this is just how I am, you know? Like, this is just my brain, this is just the way that I think, this is just the person that I am. I'm not thinking outside the box, I'm not putting all this energy into creativity, man. I don't want to be like, I'm so creative and think outside the box, but that is what I've been told, and that is just how my brain works, and I do appreciate that in myself. You know, like, there's just a lot of situations when other people are stumped and I'm just like, well, I've thought of this, I think this will work, let's do that. Like, that's just how my brain is. Now, one that as a teenager would have been in like my least favourite parts, but has made the switch to be one of my favourite parts of being autistic, is the way that it influences my sense of style and the fashion choices I make and the way that I choose to dress. Because I've gotten to a place that I really like, actually, where my wardrobe's very much made up of items that, for the most part, are sensorily comfortable. I still have the odd thing that isn't a sensory vibe, but I'm like, it's so cool that I'm just going to deal with that and wear it anyway. But for the most part, I have a wardrobe that is very, very sensory comfortable. Like, wearing my clothes as an autistic person, they're textures that I like, they are things that fit in ways that I like. You know, like, it just feels right on my body and I like it, and it's textures that I like to touch, and they're patterns that I like and colours that I like seeing, and it just, my wardrobe and my clothes make me happy. The way that I look when I wear those outfits, and the way that I can look in the mirror and look at my clothes and be like, that feels like me, this feels like, it looks like I'm a person, you know? Like, I am this whole full person, and I like that I can put the clothes on my body and have people see some perception of the type of person that I am. I really love using fashion as self-expression. I really love having weird fashion. A lot of my clothing and outfit choices are very influenced by things that I think that like characters I like would wear or celebrities I like. It just feels like a whole nother like extra little special interest that I actually get to like show people. And it's one of those things where it used to be on my least favourite because people were mean about it. Like, if I wore a weird outfit as a teenager, I got absolutely shit on for it. And even like into my like, early 20s. And it's very much one of those things where like I still dress the same, more or less, as I always have. I still like the same types of fashion. I still like the same types of pieces. I'm still very influenced by like whatever I'm watching at the time. The only thing that has changed is that the body I'm putting the clothes on is much smaller now. It's not fair, it's not nice, but it is a case of like, now that I'm skinny, people are nice about the way that I dress, and that has made me enjoy it a lot more. That's that. Like, it's one of those things that I've always enjoyed, but having people consistently be mean to you about it does make you enjoy it less. And then losing weight and doing it and having people be like, wow, you look amazing. It is weird, and I am pissed about it, I won't lie. That's why I've specifically mentioned like the weight loss part of it. It really pissed me off. The rest of it, I don't think that I would care as much or be as much like into the self-expression or just generally make the same types of choices that I make when it comes to clothes if I wasn't autistic. I do think that's a part of me being autistic. And I do, like, there's a lot of types of clothing over the years that I've wished I could wear and been like, it's just not the sensory vibe, I just don't have the body confidence for it, you know, whatever else. Like, it just isn't something I feel like I can wear. But I also, like, I love the things that I do wear, you know, like, I'm not upset about anything. I really, really enjoy it. A little bit more of a serious point, though, is that I'm very much not afraid of being alone. I don't know if I'd say, like, I actively enjoy alone time. When I have people that I can do the things that I would do while I'm alone with, I do enjoy that. It's very, very rare for me that I'm like, I don't want to be on my own. I spend a lot of time on my own, and I like it. I want to do my own things. I want to, like, you know, it's exhausting a lot of the time being around people, and I enjoy it. I like it. I put myself through it for those reasons. But for the most part, I prefer being alone. And the more that I've, like, interacted with autistic people or generally neurotypical people or just generally not neurodivergent people, the more I've been like, oh, you don't spend a moment alone. Like, if you're not physically with someone, you're chatting on the phone, you're messaging someone, you're going on a game and using your headphones and talking to people. Like, it was really shocking to me how many people I was meeting, like, literally do not spend a moment alone except for when they're asleep. And even then, they're asleep in a bed next to someone, you know? And, like, there's not necessarily, like, anything wrong with it, but it's massively, massively not for me. And they had the issue of, like, breakups, losing friends, people being busy, and all of a sudden they had to spend time on their own, and they very clearly did not fucking want to and did not like it and did not enjoy it. But that's just how it is sometimes, you know. I don't know anybody that has people 24/7 that want to be and have the time and space and whatever else to be around them. So they would struggle with that when they didn't have people to be around them. And that's largely how I found out about it, because I had a lot of spare time and they'd be like, let's hang out, and I'd be like, we never hang out, this is nice. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, it's just, you know, no one else wanted to. And I'd be like, oh, you're so scared of being alone that you even wanted to hang out with me. Cool. But like, I don't have that issue whatsoever. Like, I've clung to relationships for various other reasons, don't get me wrong, but it's never been because I don't want to spend the time on my own or that I have any issue with being on my own. And it's definitely one of those things that I've learned to like enjoy because I had to, because I've always struggled with forming friendships, forming relationships, like all that kind of stuff, and people tire me out. So it's definitely like a mechanism of like, well, I'm going to be on my own, so I'm going to have to be okay with it. But it has managed to get to the point of like, I actively enjoy it. A lot of the time I would, you know, like a lot of the time I'm actively choosing to do things on my own because I prefer it. I like it more. I don't want to have to cater to someone else. This one I think is a bit more sort of wide to a lot of people, which is that I feel, it's less, I need to get better at saying not horrible things about myself. I'm quite good at noticing like the little things and the things that other people don't appreciate. And I do mean in like the world around me. Like there was a point when I'd gone on a school trip to Bornholm when I was like maybe 11 or 12, and my teacher like had a whole like word with my parents and tried to really encourage them to get me into photography and stuff, because they were like, the pictures Dana takes, like just no one else would think to like get that angle and take a picture of that thing and so on and so forth. And I was very like, it was just the first time in my life that I'd been given a digital camera. Like I didn't have like iPods and phones and stuff as a kid that had cameras on them. It was the first time that I could take pictures, and I just took pictures of the things that I noticed and the things that I thought like looked nice. And I've always enjoyed taking pictures, and it's always been of stuff that like I just noticed, and I'm like, that's not gonna last forever, that's not gonna be there for very long, and other people aren't gonna look at it. And I like that pictures like memorialize this moment, you know. But it's only when like people have like had a glance at my camera roll, or when I used to post things on my blog and things like that, and people have been like, oh, you have a really unique eye. And I'm like, I don't think that I do have this like unique edge for doing photography, you know. I think it's just that as an autistic person, I'm already noticing the things that other people just haven't even looked over towards, you know. And like that, I feel like quite backed up in that from a lot of the comments that I've gotten on various other videos where people are talking about how, one that stands out to me is I remember when he was commenting about how when you're walking around, people often think that you're lost or that you don't know where you're going because you're just like looking at stuff. And it's that kind of thing. It's like I looked over there and I saw this pretty thing, so I took a picture, and suddenly people are like, oh my god, you really appreciate the little things, no one else would have ever noticed that. And I'm like, I'm not looking for it, like I just looked and it was there and I was like, oh, that's pretty, you know. And I don't know, I guess it's nice if other people aren't noticing that stuff. I guess it is really nice that I do. I am throwing it in as a favourite because I have consistently been told that I'm noticing the little things that other people aren't noticing, and they are quite often the little things that I feel like make me feel good. I'm like, that's pretty, that was nice, I'm glad I saw that, like wow, nature's great and whatever, you know. Another one is that I've talked before in like more negative videos that I can pretty much completely lack a social imagination. I can't imagine how any event is going to go, how any social interaction is going to go. You know, like I can come up with like lots of different options for it, and I can script in my head and try to be prepared, but I don't actually have any fucking idea how anything's going to go. And that's a large part of what makes me so anxious, because like even just getting on the bus, I'm like, yeah, I know what's happened every other time, but I just can't quite like grasp the concept that it's going to be the same this time around. And as much as that can be very negative and often does really annoy me, I do think it also positively like influences my life in the way of like, there's a whole realm of things that I've been like, oh, all right, I'll give it a go, I'll have a try, I'll come see, because I don't know. I have no idea if I'm going to enjoy it or not. I can't imagine, like I just can't put myself into situations in the way that it seems like so many other people can to tell you if I'm going to like it or not. So I will agree to try anything one time to see what it's like and to see if I like it or not. And like, don't get me wrong, fairly good chance that it's going to take us multiple attempts to try the thing the one time, because I do get very anxious, I do get very nervous, I do procrastinate and put things off because of that anxiety. But I will eventually, when I get over the anxiety of like generally leaving my house, do the thing at least one time and just see how it goes and see if I enjoy it and see if I like it, because I have no idea. That's the thing, is like, I can't think of anything that I would say no to that I haven't already tried at some point and found out I didn't like. Because like, I just don't know. Like, maybe I'll love it, maybe it'll be my favourite new thing to do. Whatever it is. Like, I will give it a go one time. If I hate it, there is no chance you're ever getting me to do it again, and I will argue with you that it's the shittest thing in the world. But until the moment that I've tried it and found that out, I'll try anything. And my final one, we're ending on like a really, really cheerful one, because it's the way that I can connect with other autistic people that are like me, okay? Like my best friend Winter, that you've all heard a lot about. Like, I know a lot of people talk about like connecting with other autistic people, and to a point, I get it, I get what you're saying, I get what you mean, like, yeah. But there's also the thing of like, even as autistic people, we are vastly, vastly different a lot of the times. And when I find people that are like the same or similar brand of autism to me, the way that our brains just like fucking download each other and connect is like nothing else. And it is the best thing in the entire world. Like, I'm going to use Winter as my example because we are currently friends, and I have unfortunately fallen out with everyone else that I've had this. I haven't always fallen out with them, sometimes we've just grown apart, but most of the time it's been fallouts and they're no longer in my life, so I don't want to use them as examples. But like, Winter likes things in the same way that I do, and we like completely different things, but they like them in the same way that I like my things, and that doesn't happen very often, when I can see in someone's eyes that like they have that same slightly manic, like they love the thing just slightly this end of too much, you know? And sure, it's not the thing that I love, but we have that same feeling. It's not for the same thing, but we feel the same things. And it just, there's this immediate understanding. And there's so many things that me and Winter say to each other that could be perceived as being like so mean and shitty and rude and whatever else. And we just know that they're not, because it's the same type of autism. We're just connected in a way where we understand each other and we just know how it's meant to be and how it's coming across. And like, I'm using Winter as the example. I also have friends that are not like that, and I've had very, very close relationships with like autistic people that are nothing like me, people who aren't autistic. Like, I've had lots of different types of friends. But there's like, even if I just meet someone once, sometimes like when I've met people like while I've been at gigs or at Comic-Cons and things like that, and I just haven't known how to like be like, let's be friends. So it's just a one-time interaction, and it's just such a connection and such like our brains are just working in the same way, and they might be working on completely different things, but the fact they're working in the same way, I can't entirely put words to that one. It is just like, I don't know, it's like looking in a mirror and seeing someone that don't quite look like you but has all the same thoughts and feelings, and the inside's the same, you know. And it always weirds me out a little bit, because I don't feel like I meet that many people that are like me. You know, like, I meet lots of people that I have similarities with, I have lots of people that I have things in common with. Like, I feel like people, all of us have something in common at some point, you know? Like, I don't feel like I, like, can't connect to human people, or that, like, I'm super different and special or whatever. But I don't feel like it's that often that I meet people that are, like, just like me. So when I do, it is a bit surreal and a bit like, oh my God, this is brilliant, this is great. And it always, like, in some way alters the way that I perceive myself as well, because there's so many things about myself that I find so fucking annoying or embarrassing or just like, ugh, and then other people do them and I'm like, we're fine, it's fine, you know, like, it doesn't bother me in the slightest when someone else is doing it. I'm not looking at them thinking like, you fucking freak. So like, it's fine when I do it, and all of a sudden this whole thing that I've had like a complex about is just gone. But yeah, this video is longer than the other one was, and I definitely thought that this video would be shorter than my least favourite parts of being autistic, but there we go, this one's longer. I would love to hear what your favourite parts of being autistic are in the comments below, your favourite things about yourself, so just something positive. I'd love everyone to just say something positive in the comments below. That'd be really nice. It's so rare that I do like nice, positive, happy videos, okay? I'm really fucking milking it for all it's worth. Comment something nice down below. If you haven't already, if you want to subscribe and like this video and hang around, I do post on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. I don't think I've said that for the last video or two, but I do. That's what happens. So if you want to stick around for it, like and subscribe, and you'll be alerted, you'll get to see it all. It'll be a fun time, you get to be here. Yeah. If you want to see even more content from me, you can also follow me over on Instagram or TikTok. I will link them both down below. I will also link my, oh my god, what's it called? Patreon. Yeah, I will also link my Patreon and Ko-fi down below. Patrons. The people over on Patreon get content a little bit early, and I swear to God, guys, if I haven't already, I am going to start posting all the fucking shit and actually interacting with you guys and being present there. I do really want to. I am going to, I swear. Christ. So if you want that, you can join us there. And I'm also going to link to Ko-fi, which is like if you wanted to do a one-time financial little donation to me, you can do, but there's no pressure. The whole point of this content's like, if I wanted you to have to pay for this, I'd put it somewhere where you have to pay for it and not on YouTube, you know? Like, you don't have to send me money, you don't have to do anything. It's all good, it's all fine. I'm going now. Whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.